Today is a good day. You found a buyer for your car and you're feeling pretty proud of yourself. You can finally breathe a sigh of relief because the car selling adventure is coming to an end. Unfortunately, there's still one more thing to consider before walking away from the deal. I'm Kanan from Dirt Legal, and today we'll answer that Israel question: should you remove your license plates when you sell your car or leave them on? Now, upon registration of your vehicle, you'll usually receive one or two license plates. Now, their number corresponds to the registration number as a means of identification. In some states, you only need a rear plate, but in others, you might receive two license plates, one for the front and one for the rear. They are used to identify the car's legal owner, but something that's helpful for situations like accidents and or thefts. Now, every state is going to have different procedures and thoughts about license plates. We can speak generally. Liability lies with the registration. That's how responsibility is determined. If its vehicle is registered to you and it's involved in a crime, an accident, or something else, guess who's going to get the blame? Yep, that's right, you. Now, the trouble with leaving your license plate on after the car is sold is that it still looks like it belongs to you. This can make you legally liable for anything that happens while your plates are still on the car. So the simple answer to the question of should I take them off? Yeah, take them off the car. So now you're thinking, well, what am I going to do with them now? Well, if you're selling the car to the dealership, the dealer typically will take care of the old license plates for you. Now, when you're selling to a private party, the best way to protect yourself is just to meet the buyer right there at the DMV. You can then sign the title over to them and watch them in person or register it right there. While you're there, you can go ahead and return those license plates to the DMV if your state requires this, or meet them at the police station. Now, some buyers will ask you to make it easier on them by leaving your license plates on the car. Seems simple, but doing this opens you up to liability if the buyer commits a crime, gets in an accident, or incurs a ticket or citation with your license plates still active. Now, in fact, many states demand the plates back to prove you aren't using this car anymore. So return the license plates along with the completed release of liability form to absolve yourself from all liability for the new owner's actions. Now, of course, there's almost always an exception. Before you bring your license plates back to the DMV, make sure to check your state's requirements. Returning license plates to the DMV isn't the procedure for every state. Now, in fact, some states require that the license plates remain with the car. Just call your local DMV or your state office to confirm what is the actual case. Now, that's probably going to bring you to the next question. What do you do with the plates if the car is going out of state? In these cases, your local law is still going to apply. If you're required to turn them in, then that's what you must do. The buyer has to figure out how to get new tags and transfer the car out of state. Now, what about removing the plates if you junk the car? If you're having a tow truck take your car to its final resting place at the junkyard, you might not think about taking the plates off. Remember how we talked about the plate being a way of determining the owner? That still applies even if it's getting junked. You don't want someone to get their hands on your license plate, then use it for something illegal. Sure, you might be able to prove that it wasn't you that did the crime, but do you really want to invest your time in having to defend yourself? Now, it's just going to be far easier to remove the license plate and turn it in or dispose of it per your state regulations, or just hang them on the wall as decoration. As you're gathering everything together for the junkyard, just take the plates off. It only takes a moment, and that's why it should be part of your usual car cleanout. Most reputable junkyards will remind you when they sign the paperwork, but you still want to be responsible and ensure that it actually happens. Now, I can't stress this enough how many things can go wrong if you don't remove your plates at the time of sale unless you have a legal reason not to. Between getting scammed by the buyer and worrying about your safety, you have a lot of things to consider when you want to get some money for your vehicle. Follow this procedure, remove the license plates when you're selling your car, especially if your state requires it. Well, if you don't, it may just come back to bite you. Now, if you have any questions about the title status of a particular vehicle or need some history on it, we here at Dirt Legal can help you with VIN checks and a vehicle history report. Dirt Legal offers VIN checks and vehicle history reports to help you gather the facts before buying or selling your vehicle. We can also help you obtain a new title and registration after you buy a vehicle or for the buyer if you're selling. Click the links in the description down below to go to dirtlegal.com, review our services, or just give us a call at our 1-800 number. We're here to help keep you safe and avoid the big risks when it comes to buying or selling a vehicle. See you next time.